What's up, squad? This is Team APS, and we've got a new video for you guys. What do we got?
This is the top 10 archetypes from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. With a disclaimer, it's kind of a mix.
Yeah, it's one part fan favorites, one part stuff we liked, and one part actually meta-relevant stuff.
Yeah, so
right.
there are 10, and these were all introduced in that time period. Some of them have gotten a little bit stronger since then, but we're mostly basing off it, like, their release, right? So, I will kick it off with Crystal Beasts. In my opinion, probably, like, low-key, one of the really big fan favorites from GX. At least, like, I see a lot of people wanting to play it.
Fun fact, they released CVs and Duel Links, and they're practically unusable.
They became back row.
Yeah, when those monsters die, they get put in the back row. They don't do anything.
But they're used to fuel your other effects.
Yep, they enable you to play your draw spell, your...
what's that one?
spell.
It's like...
I know the names.
Rare
like
value.
Beacon, Rare Value.
There's Beacon, Blessing, Promise, Crystal Promise.
Abundance?
Field Spell, Ancient City.
And at the end of the day, you just want to summon that big old rainbow dragon.
But as far as the things they did well, I mean, I think at the time, just being able to float, quote unquote, into the back row was cool, because if your opponent let you accumulate too many, and the field spell and all that other stuff kind of started to get, you know, dangerous.
Yeah, just a little too fragile with them having to be in the back row and the front row. So they were weak to back row removal, monster removal.
All their high rarity versions, like Ultimate Rare, Sapphire, Pegasus, and Ancient City, and like rare values are worth a lot. Like, a load. And I actually have a friend who's got...
It's actually true for a lot of these decks.
Yeah, these GX ones, that's true. And my friend actually has like all of them in max rarity. He's just waiting for the new support to come out.
So number 2 on the list is Volcanics. And sadly, the most I know about Volcanics is when they came back, I think a few formats ago.
Yeah, a couple years back with the trap card.
Tri-Blaze Accelerator.
Yeah, but don't ever forget, the most important card in Volcanics was...
Volcanic Rat.
Scattershot.
Well, Shell was used in a lot of other decks, though.
Yeah, Shell was the simplest form of what Scattershot was.
Yeah, it was, because Shell's like, what, you pay 500 and you get to add another Shell? Or something along those lines?
Yeah, it just kind of did the recycling.
Yeah, you just kept getting more shells from Shells. And you'd use your Blaze Accelerator to shoot them.
But all I know is, when I played against them, I hated Scatter. That was when I hated it.
It was kind of an interesting burn deck. Like, I like that it's a fire-themed deck and it does a little bit of burn damage, but it also is a standalone deck.
I thought the coolest thing about them was the guy who used them in the anime, his dual disc was also a gun.
Who used them in the anime? You probably know. You know?
What was his name?
What's his name? Axel?
Axel Brody? Yeah. He was black, wasn't he?
Yep, he had dreads and everything. That's how you know he was black.
Yeah.
I mean, I look, guys, I wasn't going to go there. They took it there. I wasn't.
Number 3 on this list is Frogs.
Frogs were GX?
Sort of.
Kinda. There was a girl who like named Princess something and she had frogs. It doesn't matter. Either way.
Her name
the
was
big
Princess?
thing about frogs back then was that they could mass summon Des Frog monsters and wipe your opponent out with either a fusion monster called D3S Frog or the spell card Des Croaking.
Wait, I've never heard of any of this. The only frog cards that exist are Ronin Totem,
Swap Frog. And like Dupe as fodder.
Dupe, and then if you're special, Treeborn.
Like, I mean, all things considered, they've kind of been through GX, where it was just sort of the Treeborn stuff, and then they kind of changed, and then they went to 5D.
It's really funny.
5Ds, like Treeborn was good for like synchro stuff.
Ronin
All
Totem
those
was a
useful
good
frogs
there.
were merely meant to make it easier to bring out Des Frog. But nobody wants to play Des Frog.
Does anyone remember Wetlands, though?
Oh, Wetlands. Ooh.
Alex played that deck
Loved
so much.
Wetlands.
Number 4, then, is Cyber Dragons. I guess, spiritual successor to Blue Eyes in that sort of era.
Yeah,
I remember
I don't like Cyber.
I remember reading a Shonen Jump manga when they were just like announcing GX, and they revealed Cyber Dragon, and that was the coolest card to me. I was like, oh my god, it's so cool.
It's supposed to represent the next generation.
And then I was confused because he was all
either.
around weaker, and I didn't understand that.
But he could special summon himself.
He was actually one of the big like meta changers, because he took Yu-Gi-Oh! From an era of like 1900 normal summons to a 2100 special summon.
Yep.
That, like, you know, you still had your normal summon, it still swung over a lot of stuff.
There was a Cyber Dragon art, and you guys know that was like a dark Cyber Dragon, but it was still
I do
Cyber
remember
Dragon.
that, yeah. That was cool.
Oh yeah, he did do that.
Mm-hmm.
At times.
Ancient Gears or Antique Gears, depending on if you're from the OCG.
Yeah, so tell us about Ancient Gears. What's up with them?
The whole idea behind them is that Ancient Gear effect When an Ancient Gear monster declares an attack, no spell or traps can be activated in response.
Yeah, which
Until
for the time, I'm
end
guessing.
of the damage step.
For the time, I'm guessing that was a pretty strong effect, really.
Yeah, you could
It
beat down
checked
somebody.
mirror forces, some enemy controllers.
Like Dimensional Prison,
Book of Moves,
Sagretsu Armor.
D prison. Ugh. Beast, Engineer. Engineer was my favorite.
Soldier?
I mean, he was
Soldier wasn't
1300 or
great.
1200. He was weak.
Which one was the Gemini?
That was Knight, who came much later, but then he became kind of the guy to get. The only
Right.
problem is his Gemini effect was to get the Ancient Gear effect, and you're just like, why?
Well, that's
And then there was like the Ace Golem who didn't actually get summoned that much.
I don't know about. I summoned Golem. I loved Golem.
when Golem could come out, he came out.
I remember
Swinging.
Gajiltron Dragon being summoned from Gear Town as one of the big.
Yeah, that
Strats
was
a lot of
from
people
part of
would
the
use.
structure deck that also came a bit later after its release.
Six Samurai.
Six Sam.
You're actually building the new.
Yeah,
new
Six
news.
Sam's started off in a very humble place, but they had a very interesting strategy where they could protect each other from being destroyed by sacrificing themselves.
Which, okay, so actually, fun fact, guys, Alex knows more about their lore than anyone else. Tell us about that.
Well, the Six Samurai lore jumps around. It starts in medias res with
Can of Worms. Here we go.
Be quiet, Alec. It starts with this, I guess, team of, well, Six Samurai who serve their lord Xian.
Six Samurai, 5 monster zones. Remember that.
They eventually get support that's called Legendary Six Samurai, which is actually the very preceding, the preceding generation of Six Samurai, which for some of those Six Samurai, it's actually their parents. Like, the Legendary Six Samurai Mizuho and Legendary Six Samurai
Shina? Is it
Shina?
the blue one? Yeah.
They actually had a child who becomes a totally different beast. He becomes a normal monster from early in the game. Then he starts to become the new Legendary Six Samurai Xyz monster. Until he then fights Xian in evenly matched in face.
Tenkabito Shian?
No, Tenkabito Xian was Xian. That was the earliest Xian.
If you guys want to hear more of this kind
We
of
might have to do a
rambling,
video on this. We gotta
thumbs
do
up
a
the
video on
video,
this.
let
This
us
is crazy.
know.
Because it's hard to go
All I
into.
know about Six Sam is they took me to platinum in Duel Links.
Oh, but yeah, the latest Six Samurai though they're ninjas that are also Six Samurai, and one of them is actually the daughter of Mizuho and Shinai as well. They had 2 children apparently.
Well,
So, Alec, what is the next deck?
next up we have Lightsworn, aka Raiko.
Yeah, aka I always thought of Judgment Dragon.
AKA Milswan.
Come on, man. When people think about Lightsworn, they don't think about JD, they don't think about Solar Recharge, even Charge Light.
They
They
think
think
about
about Raiko.
Lightsworn is the part of this list where it does get to the more competitive favorites.
For sure.
Because Lightsworn's really ramped up kind of the strength of an archetype. It was toward the end of the GX era. Introduced milling as a thing.
And it stayed.
Yeah, and it's stayed relevant
There
since,
was a while when
basically.
everyone played Lightsworn, you know.
And yeah, like you were saying, they've stuck around, right? I mean,
Yep. We eventually got Raiden, and then Fellas,
Michael.
Mike. Oh man.
And even literally today, there's like the 60 card versions of the deck that.
It's still enduring.
Next deck then is Dark Worlds.
Oh, let me just stop you right there. Lightsworn and Dark World, those were the 2 decks that got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh! In tandem. I played both of them at the same time.
He did.
So scrub trash.
Hey, look, I'm not proud.
He didn't know he
Very
wasn't
proud,
good.
actually.
Yeah,
I love it.
He assumed because he won, he was good. The
Yeah,
more
once
you use
Graphic
the
came
more you
out, that
won.
was... Whew.
Gates of Dark World, little field spell.
But you know, players have to learn not to use Rainbow.
Yeah, the hard way. It's not good.
Hey, no, Rainbow could work because you just had to discard him because of your opponent's effect. So what you did was you discarded Cerule. Cerule went to your opponent's side of the field. Cerule effect will make you discard your Rainbow and you special summon Rainbow. Simple.
All things considered, I mean, it was kind of a meta-relevant deck in like 2012 or so, I want to say. After the structure, it was like a cheap thing, buy 3 structures.
Yep.
Can actually
That's
beat your friends.
exactly
Like
what I
him.
did.
Gladiator Beasts.
Glads.
This is actually one of my personal favorites.
Is it?
Ooh.
It's basically, you know, based on like the Roman Colosseum where these people fight and like they tag out, which was
I don't remember seeing a single half man, half lion in the Roman
And I don't
Colosseum.
remember there ever being tag matches in the Roman Coliseum either.
Well, the point is they had to attack and then they'd like bounce back into the deck and summon a new one and it would get an effect. And this deck stayed like it was a really frustrating deck to face for a lot of people. Like Bestiari and Murmillo would like pop spells and traps and monsters, and Gazaris. Like the contact fusing thing was a new thing too.
It was.
Because most of the time you were used to using polymerization, but they could just contact into Gazaris, blow up stuff, swing,
Let's just say
contact
GX
out.
ruined Fusion.
But it made Fusion cool.
It made Fusion, man.
It took away what Fusion was supposed to be.
You mean Musician King?
No.
That leads us to then number 10 or
fun.
number 1 or
Man,
whatever.
You guys, you couldn't guess it. You don't even know.
How could you guess?
Cloudians.
Yes, of course.
Right? Yes.
No, guys.
No.
Nah, it's Heroes.
Yeah.
It's Heroes.
Did you want to hear?
Did you want Cloudians, guys? Did
Or
you?
Venoms.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it's Heroes.
yeah, Elemental Heroes. The main
of-
character used it.
They
Jaden,
They came, they saw, they
you know,
conquered.
in the
right?
anime, we were the centerpiece monster was Flame Wingman, and it became Neos after, right?
Yeah, whatever.
And then it became
Masked
Trials.
Heroes and all. This archetype's never stopped getting support.
It's still here.
It's still gonna get support.
It's because I think
You got a Link monster coming
It's
in,
probably
so.
was always fun to create more hero monsters.
I guess to give them some credit, so the hero lovers don't like hate us in the comments.
I like
They are
Heroes.
based on different like actual real life heroes,
That's true.
Real life
The
heroes.
original, well,
real world
you get it.
heroes.
You know,
Real world
the original
heroes?
set, like was it Bubble Man,
Avion,
Bersentrix, and them
Yeah.
are based off American comic book characters. Like Bubble Man looks surprisingly a lot like Batman.
especially Neo Bubble Man.
Yeah,
The mass heroes, however,
Mask heroes are
I think
more
they're based
like
on Japanese.
that's
Japanese
right.
heroes.
Japanese heroes.
They
Mask
look
heroes.
much more. They look like Kamen Rider characters almost.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely the theme for the archetype. I will say is very cool, and for the longest time, it has been a huge fan favorite of like casual players, budget players. It's been meta relevant at varying times.
Konami must love it. Like they were like, "Hey, let's make mass heroes." You know what they need? Blaze Man.
Isn't it that other thing, like, after Blaze Man, that camera one? The Vision Hero.
Oh yeah, those were a thing.
What
They're-
are Vision Heroes?
I remember when like Absolute Zero and The Shining were things.
Look, man, I don't know. Heroes, they'll always be here. And don't get me started on their kind of like spin-off archetype. It's not a sub-archetype, it's kind of a spin-off. Neospatians.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. What
Because of Neos,
was that?
and he had Neospatians. To be fair, the only good Neospatian was Grand Mole.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
Neospatian
I
was
was
a
awkward
very
often a
awkward
bit.
archetype to use.
And I mean, if we're gonna talk about heroes, I guess we should include Destiny heroes.
True that. The D!
Were they really a lot like European anti-heroes? I wouldn't know, really.
And then of course there's evil heroes, which no one remembers.
Evil
but,
heroes.
That was an oxymoron.
I had a buddy of mine, when I got back to Yu-Gi-Oh! He played like Dark Gaia, whatever his name was.
Yeah. So I mean, no surprises. Heroes take number 1.
Yeah, they gotta do it.
They'll be back soon.
So that concludes our 10 best favorite, goodest Yu-Gi-Oh! GX archetypes.
Generation Next!
So what were you guys' favorites? Because for me, I think GX was special because it introduced archetypes at all. You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot that wasn't on this list. You know, Venoms and Cloudians and
And you
things
know,
like
that era fundamentally sped up Yu-Gi-Oh! In ways we weren't ready for.
Yeah, introduced kind of the idea of synergy and all that stuff. So, all right, that's gonna be it. So let us know your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! GX archetypes in the comments below. Remember to thumbs if you like the video.
Comment below if you love the video.
Hit the notification bell if you want to join the squad.
That's gonna be it. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.